Is it those heavenly trumpets come to signal the end of the world? No, it's just the Dunstable to Leighton Buzzard annual truck convoy.
Oh, now here's the plan, Big Ben. When we get to the pass, we're going to put on our fish costumes, pass out the Vaseline and extra...
Passing by the end of my road there. I'm not going to bother going to have a look, I've seen it all before, but I think in a little while we will pop down to the Priory Church Gardens and have a look at the classic car show down there. Dunstable's not such a nice place for a stroll anymore. It's become a right hole over the last few years. Quite depressing. Hopefully down in the Priory Gardens there'll be some lovely shiny classic and vintage cars to look at, and they usually have a few motorbikes. I remember they've had tanks there previously. We'll see what they've got. I'm hoping it's going to be good fun. You won't usually catch me filming in town because despite its amazing history and its beautiful surrounding countryside and wildlife, Dunstable itself has sadly just become a bit of an embarrassment for me. It's a sorry state of affairs, but you do still get these little things going on. The annual car show and the truck rally. Oh look. I do apologise for the dreadful singing, they don't seem to be going away. First item of interest, look, we've got an old Rover SD1 done up like kit out of Knight Rider. There's a very shiny Morris Minor. I always wish I'd owned one of them. I'm a bit too young really, they were sort of more my parents' generation. But I remember when I was young, these were really cheap, they were easy to get hold of. I sort of regret never having one. We've got an MG Roadster. Lovely little sports cars they are. Now, I've heard if you keep talking and you've got music in the background that might be copyrightable, if you just keep talking over it, apparently you don't get a strike. So we'll give that a go, we'll see what happens. Here's a good one, look.
It's a Buick!
Vauxhall Victor Estate. We had one of these when I was a kid. I seem to remember I think it's the first car I remember that we had as a family. It was either the Vauxhall Victor or it was the Magnum, it was one of the two. Although strangely I do remember, although it was, you know, kind of 48 years ago, the registration number of that car was MNM487P. Don't know how I remembered that. It seems a bit strange to think of these old Peugeots as being classic cars, but of course they are now. Look, that one's an E-Reg. There's not all that many motorbikes here this year, but there's another trip down family memory lane over here. There it is. There's a Triumph Bonneville T120. I think that's the model before the one that my dad had. He used to drop me off to school and drop me off to Cubs on the back of his Triumph, and I felt like Fonzie. It was pretty cool. There's another Triumph here. It's the old single cylinder one. I can't remember what it was called. Oh, there we go. It was the Tiger Cub. Now, just in case you ever wondered what a 1924 Bentley V8 engine looks like, there you go. Isn't it beautiful? We've got Anglias, Zephyrs, and a Zodiac. Every rednecked Trump supporter's dream. The Dodge Ram. That's a lovely, fully restored, tidy looking Rover P6. My uncle's got one of them. He did the full restoration on his as well. I'd dread to think what it's worth, considering he got it for free out of a barn. It was literally a barn find. What else we got? Oh, is that a Forenza or a Mexico? What are we looking at there? Oh, it's a Cortina. Before they went all boxy. There's a very old Ford V8 pickup. I don't know what year that could be. It sort of looks a little bit rat rod, doesn't it? But not quite rat rod. There's a couple of nice rat rod projects over there that I spotted in the distance. We'll get to them in a bit. Quite possibly the ugliest vehicle ever built. The old Citroen DS. But all the same, I think they're awesome. I love them. They look absolutely horrendous, but in quite a brilliant way. I haven't got the foggiest idea what that is, but I like it. Look at the thing. What is it? It looks kind of like one of the old mini estates on steroids with decent ground clearance and a V8 engine. I've got no idea what that is. There's a Ford Model A. Absolutely immaculate. Plenty more Morrises. Another one over there. There's an Austin 7, is it? Yeah, Austin 7. I'm not sure what this one is. One thing I've noticed, this is the only car show I ever bother coming to because it's in my town centre, but you don't actually see very many of the Capris anymore. Car shows used to be full of them. Not seeing so many for some reason. And another thing I've noticed here today is I haven't seen a single rear-wheel drive Volvo estate. No 740s, no 940s, no 240s. You usually see a few of them. But these sort of car shows, I haven't seen a single one here today. Lots of nice old MGs here, look. Proper minis, look. That's another car I regret having never owned. I think pretty much everyone of my age has probably owned one of these in their early days of driving. I never did. E-Type Jag. Got to be one of the sexiest cars ever built. And look at the engine though as well. Absolutely lovely. 4.2 litre, 6-cylinder. 3-carb engine. And there's an engine I'm very familiar with. The old VW Flat 4 on an original Beetle. This one's been done sort of rat rod style. I love rat rod, it looks a bit Mad Max. There's hundreds of cars here to look at, but I've been concentrating on the ones that I'm sort of a bit familiar with, or you know, I've got a bit of history with, or whatever. So I've never owned a Dodge or an RS 1600, and until today, I've never even heard of a Beardmore. Here's an interesting little corner. We've got our second Capri. I wonder what particular model that one might be. Oh, it is the 2.8 injection. Hello mate, you alright? Nice old Ford V8. Rat rodded. And a proper Land Rover. That little weird thing that I didn't know what it was, he's just fired it up. God, it sounds nice. Don't switch it off, don't switch it off, don't switch it off. I don't know what you are, but you're a little beauty. There's a late 70s Granada. My favourite shape of Granada. I did actually briefly own a much later Granada Scorpio, which I think, if I remember rightly, was a V6 3-litre engine. This one's a 3-litre and all. Definitely my favourite shape of the Granadas. And last but not least, I think that's a Ford Pop. I used to, back when I had an old customised Beetle, I used to go to the VW meetups at Santa Pod, and while we were there we always used to watch the drag racing. A lot of them were Ford Pops. I think that's what I'm looking at. If I get a copyright on my video, I want it to be because I've specifically chosen a piece of music or film and cheekily used it, knowing that I probably shouldn't. That's okay, that's fair game, but I do not want to get copyrighted because of that drivel being forced on me all flipping afternoon. Well, there you go, that was alright, wasn't it? Lots of interesting vehicles to look at, good bit of fun, I enjoyed it. And most importantly, I didn't get robbed. See you later.